Ever wonder if there's some kind of hidden code written into the world all around us? A secret number that shapes life, the universe, and, well, pretty much everything. Today, we're going to explore a mathematical pattern that really seems to be nature's absolute favorite number. Sounds a bit like a riddle, doesn't it? A flower, a giant swirl of stars, and the very hand you might be using to scroll right now? But the answer isn't a trick question. It's a really profound connection that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. And here's the clue. It's this elegant shape, the spiral. It's a pattern of growth so fundamental, so basic, that it shows up everywhere, from the tiniest shells on the beach to the most massive structures in the entire cosmos. And they all point back to one specific mathematical code. So, to really get our heads around this universal blueprint, we've got to travel back in time, all the way back to the 12th century where our story begins. And believe it or not, it doesn't start with some grand discovery, but with a simple little thought experiment. Yeah, you heard that right. A guy named Leonardo Fibonacci was just trying to figure out how fast rabbits could, multiply under perfect conditions. He wasn't trying to unlock the secrets of the universe. He was literally just counting bunnies. But in doing that, he stumbled onto a sequence of numbers that would just echo through centuries of science. The sequence itself is actually incredibly simple to build. You just start with 0 and 1. Then, to get the next number, you just add the last two together. So, 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 5, 8, 13, 21, and on forever. It's this infinitely growing chain of numbers. And this, right here, is where it gets absolutely mind-bending. This isn't just some mathematical game. As our source material puts it so well, this sequence is one of nature's own numbering systems. It's like a fundamental rulebook for growth, an incredibly efficient blueprint for building life. Let's look at some real-world examples. Go outside and look at flowers. You'll find lilies with 3 petals, buttercups with 5. Marigolds often have 13. Daisies, they usually have 21 or 34. These are all numbers straight out of the Fibonacci sequence. It's almost like plants are counting, and these are the only numbers they really care about. But the sunflower, wow. The sunflower shows off this pattern in such a complex and beautiful way. The seeds aren't just thrown in there randomly. Nope, they form 2 sets of interlocking spirals. And if you actually count them, you'll almost always find 2 consecutive Fibonacci numbers, like 21 spirals twisting one way and 34 twisting the other. And it turns out, this is the most efficient way possible to pack in the seeds. It's just perfect design. But why? Why these numbers? What is it about this specific sequence that makes it so special? Well, the answer lies in another mysterious number, one that has obsessed mathematicians, artists, and architects for thousands of years, the golden ratio. It's called phi, and it's what's known as an irrational number. That just means its decimal points go on forever and ever without repeating. It's roughly 1.618, but this number represents what many consider to be a perfect, aesthetically beautiful proportion. Okay, so the concept is all about a unique proportion. Just imagine a line that's split into 2 parts, a long part and a short part. The relationship is golden when the ratio of the whole line to the long part is the exact same as the ratio of the long part to the short part. It creates this sense of perfect natural balance. And here it is. This is the magic link that ties everything together. Take any 2 consecutive numbers from that rabbit sequence we were talking about, divide the bigger one by the smaller one. So, 8 divided by 5, that's 1.6. 13 divided by 8, 1.625. How about 34 divided by 21? You get about 1.619. The further you go down the line, the closer and closer your answer gets to phi. The Fibonacci sequence is basically the universe's way of building this perfect ratio. So, if the Fibonacci sequence is the blueprint, and the golden ratio is the rule, just how far does this design go? Is it just something we see in plants, or are we talking about a truly universal pattern here? Let's start with something really close to home. Look down at your own hand. Right now, the lengths of the bones in your fingers, they follow the golden ratio. Each section is about 1.618 times longer than the section that comes after it. It's right there in your own body. And this same proportion is stamped all across the animal kingdom. You can find it defining the key facial features of a tiger. It's there in the placement of the fins and the tail on a dolphin's body. And then it just explodes in scale, unimaginably, into the majestic, sweeping arms of spiral galaxies, unfurling across light years of empty space.
all the way down to the very code of life itself. A single complete turn of our DNA's double helix measures 34 angstroms long by 21 angstroms wide, 2 consecutive Fibonacci numbers, right there at the absolute heart of our existence.
I mean, from rabbits to galaxies to our own DNA, the pattern is just undeniable. But what if there's another layer to this code? Something even deeper. A recent investigation has uncovered a stranger, more mysterious property hidden inside the sequence itself. It all kicked off with a really peculiar observation. The 19th number in the Fibonacci series just so happens to be perfectly divisible by the number 19. Now, that could just be a weird coincidence, right? Maybe. But it led to a deeper question. What if there's some kind of hidden order here we've been missing? Okay, this is where things get really fascinating. A unique formula was developed called the Fibonacci flip, and what it revealed was this hidden property. If you look at these examples, by pairing up specific numbers from the sequence and either adding or subtracting them, the result is always perfectly divisible by 19. Not by 18, not by 20, only 19, every single time. This hidden symmetry points to an even deeper level of order. And you might be thinking, okay, that's a cool math trick, but what does it mean? Well, this mathematical flip has a stunning parallel in the physical world. Remember the dolphin? To measure the golden ratio on both its back and its belly, you have to literally flip the ruler. The pattern is there on both sides, but it's a mirror image. So on one hand, we have a mathematical flip that reveals a hidden order. On the other, we have a physical flip that reveals a design principle in nature. And maybe the ultimate expression of this whole idea is in DNA replication. The very process that creates life is a copy and flip mechanism, making 2 perfectly mirrored strands from one original blueprint. So what does this all mean? Is the constant appearance of this sequence its unbreakable link to the golden ratio, and even this bizarre property involving the number 19? Is it all just a series of unbelievable cosmic coincidences? Or are we actually looking at the signature of a deep, fundamental code written into the very fabric of reality itself? That is the question we're left with.